Let's give Justin a hand, everybody. YouTube, Stony Brook. Scintillating discussion. Scintillating young people who want to discuss. Immediately, Justin, good to see you here.
Good to see you, Professor.
Our immediate discussion is on design as like a seduction, a convincing medium. A way that we're lured in to buy, sell, live, earn, drive beautiful peak. What kind of car do you drive?
Pontiac.
Here he is. Now we can start. A Pontiac.
98 Pontiac.
Cool. What does visual culture have to do? Now we're entering this. I've asked you all to have 50 blogs. All of you have Facebook?
Yeah.
Brenny not. How many of you have Instagram? You have Instagram.
Yeah.
Visual culture. Sometimes we don't know what we're selling. We all hope for groovy jobs, and if we lose our job, we hope for the next job up will be groovier, not less groovy. I asked this morning, who knows what a freelancer is? Anyone here know what a freelancer is?
Freelance writer?
Anything. Freelance designer.
Somebody that goes out and does stuff on their own.
Freelance financier. For freelance, someone without a boss. Or they are their own boss. Or reality itself is a boss. You ever hear that slogan, everyone's got a dumb boss? Hi, boss. You'll find out it's why. First of all, then let's say that we got all these things, Justin, at our disposal. Vengolium, Emerge, I Love New York, IBM by Paul Rand. These are all famous designers. Why do we feel, Justin, that we're always, at least with our visual culture, Facebook, always in a process of selling ourselves?
Well, because I think we mostly put ourselves into an online fashion nowadays with technology. I think that we try to represent ourselves, and we've talked about this before, we try to represent ourselves, our best selves, through Instagram and through Facebook, and create some...
Some of you look pretty good on Facebook.
Exactly.
Like everybody, they doll up and do a selfie. I know I do. You doll up and do a selfie, and you go like, wow, that's the girl in the chemistry class? Oh, man. She's always in her pajamas and has got a little thing running from her nose, and this is a good photo. What is this about? Are we? Isn't it true, or like am I wrong? You look at a guy in your chemistry class. Wow, his Facebook shot was. He must have doctored it up in Photoshop.
When you can capture that perfect moment and present yourself as the best way, it's almost like creating a pictorial resume. You only put the stuff that you want people to see on Facebook.
Yeah.
You only put the stuff that you
Here
want,
it is. Now we can start.
For the most part. You want to put what you want people to see that you have seen. Like if you go to Paris, you're going to take a picture of the Eiffel Tower and put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook. You want to present this to people that you travel.
And people go like, I am so jealous of Justin. He's in beautiful September weather in Paris, shot the Eiffel Tower. Most of the people, Americans too, but a lot of Asians, they got to be in front of the monument because that says, we're here. Americans do that too. But you give your camera to some passerby, hopefully they won't steal it, say, oh, can you shoot us and our friends in front of the Eiffel Tower and so forth. This is kind of, Justin, a kind of a utopia. This is a nice world where look, I said, who knows what freelancing is? Freelancing is ideal. It's ideal when the jobs keep flowing. You don't have to have a boss or a school or a professor to tell you what reality is. You have this direct contact with what reality is, right?
Right.
This is utopia, right?
It's creating some kind of utopian and also fictional piece of yourself that you only want others to see.
You better believe that.
And that's also in part what an actual resume is. It's the same idea, and a Facebook or an internet resume can be the same as a real life resume, a job resume.
Did you ever hear of resume falsification insurance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of resume
in case you
falsification. I don't know about insurance.
It insures you against your falsification being found out. There's no such thing. No such thing. It's a joke. Anyway, we're rolling through studio audience, Mom. We're rolling through a bunch of looks. We don't know what they're selling. Was raised kind of as a visual guy. My dad, hi Dad. was a designer, urban planner, landscape architect, all of that. So I've been trained. A lot of my siblings have all been trained to look with the eyes, to send it in the eyes and out the hand, draw, design, whatever. All my little nieces and nephews love to draw and paint and whatever. Visual art, we sometimes don't know what it's really about, but Justin, are we just, in this shot, are you like, huh, what's this?
Yeah, well, you see all the different colors, different words, different parts, and you can't see some, you can see others. So I think my eyes kind of went around from Dawdler in the top right to Lumpen in the bottom left, and I saw
Coucher
ass in
ass.
the bottom left.
Potato with the flow, Dwiddle flow.
You pick and choose.
And this is Charles Damuth in 1928. And that's Andy Warhol in about 1966. How many heard of Andy Warhol? What's he name?
Shanta,
Shanta. What's he famous for?
the cans.
What's that about? I could go to a store and get a Campbell's can.
He painted it. He painted what he saw.
He painted what he saw. Yeah, he saw Campbell cans. He got it out. He had his whole studio meticulously repainting it. So it's not manufactured and done.
Isn't it the type of painting? Didn't he do like I don't know, some type of painting?
He did lithographs. He did it very, very faithful to it. And then he put it in a museum. It's a lot of what we do now contextual. Okay, context. Let's talk about context. Mohammed, what do you use Facebook for?
Friends that sharing your moments.
Oh, you're on Instagram too, right?
Yeah.
I like your shots. I saw your shots. And then you you showed it to me.
Oh, that was Facebook.
Ow! So I post a lot of my photographic shots on it. What?
Are you stalking us?
No, he showed me. No stalker here. People stalk me. No stalker here. But he showed me the stuff he did with his Canon 600D. 60D? 650D. Nice machine. I got a Canon 7D. I got a Lumix, a couple Lumixes. How many cameras do you have?
I have a digital camera that sits at home in dust.
What do you use for Facebook?
A phone.
The phone. And Nokia came out, Matt, with the new 40 megapixel phone.
I think I saw that.
The lens looked big.
You told me. I mean, I saw it. That's insane, right? It's
The phone
crappy.
looks up
The
weird.
megapixels don't really matter.
It's the chip size, right?
Yeah, it's how big it is.
Yeah, the sensor. So we have a world of we have a world of one-upmanship. We have beautiful women taking beautiful selfies in front of their beautiful bathrooms. I love those selfies. Right? Who's not seen those? Who's not done those? You haven't lived, Jeremy. We have shots of the Eiffel Tower. It's like up Periscope. We're constantly surveying the world through visual culture. A few more of these. That's Mondrian. This is illuminated manuscript, which is the writing in medieval Europe that was illuminated by many monks who only could understand literacy. McLuhan, how many heard of Marshall McLuhan? I'm a big McLuhan fan, said we're exiting a literal society and re-entering a visual society. On the right is portrait painting. Of course, before the camera, everything had to be painted. Here's some cave painting at Lascaux. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Here's some, like a little flyer hung up looking for a girlfriend / housemate. Hope he gets it. Morgan, what do these two things have in relationship? This is our Crumb stuff. Here's an Irish manuscript. Why are these two things like each other or unlike each other? Girlfriend, housemate, wanted. You go, guy. And the hunting paintings. What?
I don't even see a similarity.
Draw the stretch. Draw the similarity. What's behind the motivation?
That one's looking for a girlfriend, so I guess it's like.
They all want something.
I want something through the visual hook. Guy's looking for a girlfriend / roommate. He probably posts this in the post office or on telephone poles. How many of you ladies would go for this? No one. Okay. Top one. Muhammad, what's that about? The cave painting.
Oh.
Is this before or after the hunt? It's a what,
Game
Teresa?
plan.
A game plan.
Yeah, like you go here, the other person goes there.
Cool. It's like a diagram. Do you think, Teresa, it could be about wish fulfillment or a job well done? Or both? Is it kind of preparing the... Look, they lived and died by these images. If they felt they couldn't spill their guts into these images, the hunt wouldn't go so well next time. Right? Brennan, weigh in on that comment. Is there almost a religious thing behind this painting this animal that they need to eat, otherwise their babies will starve?
I feel like religion was heavily a factor in everything back then, especially when there was cave paintings, I guess.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't monotheistic. It was like there were deities everywhere. But maybe they're calling the spirit of the ox just to yield themselves so they could kill it and eat it. And there's a type of reverence here. It's not like, yeah, I killed that animal. It's like there was a thanking toward the animal for giving up itself to be eaten. And even vegetarians, take note, in this world, it's eat or be eaten. Eventually, little microbes will eat you guys up, and we'll all go off that way. Let's continue on that cheery thought. So the guy looking for a girlfriend / housemate, little flyers, little number down there, is very similar to the top cave painting. They're looking for something. Anyone weigh in on this? Yeah, the illuminated manuscript. And this is a 17th century, 18th century Japanese advertisement right here. Weigh in on this. Alessandro? No. Andres.
Which one? Japanese?
The illuminated manuscript.
Interesting.
So you don't know what it's about.
I know.
I mean, don't really know. Anyone do research on illuminated manuscripts?
What kind of writing is it?
It's usually Latin. And get this, if you came from a poor family, you were the first son, your parents begged the local monastery to take you, to educate you, to teach you to read. The rest of your family would probably starve and remain peasants. This is kind of like a modus operandi. They took the best and the brightest young men in peasant families and thrust them into monasteries where they would learn. How much literacy is there in society that way?
Maybe like a top 10%.
Yeah, it was very, very, very small. Mohammed, are we very literate now as a society, American society?
That's
We're in the 90s, aren't we, American society?
Yeah.
Who comes from a country with lower literacy? Your parents. What's India? Pakistan? What's Pakistan now? No. What's the literacy rate? It's in 80s, right? 70s and 80s%?
70s.
70s now? Your family's from Pakistan? Yeah, it's climbing after World War II and decolonialization. Nick, when we live in a completely educated, and this is ironic, you're taking this class because I'm trying to reteach you how to look visually, critically visually, at every bit of your reality. Not take it for, look, reward yourself. Smoke some cancer sticks. There you go. With the pleasure of smooth smoking. So the image is trying to sell you something. Nick, what happens when we live in a literate / educated society? Are we able to get away with things like this?
No.
Who said no? Brenny.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, no, because in your society, like, you could tell that somebody's trying to sell you something that will physically mess with your health.
Like The Mad Men. Who's seen the show? Anyone see that show? You have seen it, Jeremy? It's a fairly cool show. I like it. Well written. But it's about guys trying to sell you cigarettes. You know? Joe Camel. Remember that one? It was taken down. Joe Camel looked like a character. What was the thought behind that, Justin?
They tried to make it a symbol. Wasn't it also kind of a sex symbol? I mean, it was trying to sell it to kids too, by like being a cool character and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, like relatable to kids and
They were
potentially
purposely
marketing
trying to sell
right, to create a new generation of smokers.
cigarettes to kids. I want you for the U.S. Army. For what, Jeremy?
I was thinking, I'm not sure that having a literate society would necessarily help stop like stuff like that. In order to stop false advertising and things like that, you would actually need an informed society. And simply being able to read does not mean that you are in fact informed.
Hence,
In fact, the majority of the people are always going to be uninformed, simply because the majority of people are only going to care about a couple different things.
because people, there's a great thing by Paulo Freire who said, we're not teaching literacy, we're teaching understanding through literacy, right?
Yeah, you
We
wanna
have to
people
teach power
understand
relationships.
stuff.
Like a fourth grader can read this, a third grade, I want you for U.S. Army. Then we go and ask about what's their second question of a recruiter.
Of a recruiter, I have no idea.
Give me a gut reaction.
I mean, if I was presented this,
Yeah.
like what do you need me for?
Is this a just war? And the recruiter would say, it doesn't matter if it's just war, I need you for the U.S. Army. Then what would you say, Nick? No, show me the goods. And as some of my students said, where they joined the Army to get the college tuition plan or whatever, they did it during times of no war, no belligerence. So, or a lot of Americans or have no green papers or permits, have to go to the Army to get their citizenship. That's another thing behind this. But this is World War I. This is the WPA program. The right to work, back to work, the government made all these programs just like work study on campus here that allowed people to get employed when the markets devastated the economy. The market collapsed, devastated, just like in 2008. So part of that was there. Here's our flag, advertising. I don't know what the Greeks were advertising, ways of life. Maybe it's similar to that other thing. iPods. Do you think this ad, you're in marketing, Justin, do you think this ad really promoted the iPod?
Sure, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just no words, just like this. This
Yeah.
black silhouette of the guy or girl dancing and the white thing going in the ears. How many have seen this ad? How many have an iPod? Probably all of you. Tracy, you don't have one? Okay. You have an iPhone? There you go. How many have one Apple product? This is 100%, except for Nick. It's very un-American of you, Nick. Just kidding.
Assembled in China. That's true.
And they're made in China. And sometimes they have strikes in China because there's unfair working conditions. Good for them. Maps, stories, books, visual communications, pure information. This is Napoleon's march into Moscow. As a graphic, what his army started with, and the black line is what he retreated with. Oops. Went in with, I think, about 100,000 men, came back with 20. Or some small trickle. Look at the trickle there. The winter, the battles, this half a second snapshot. I say Napoleon, army into Moscow, army back, you get it, right? Very successful campaign, Nick? Of Mr. Napoleon. Was this a job well done? Not really. It was devastating. It's like they starved, they froze, they did whatever. We heard about it in history books. But this is all the pages you could read on the event. Here's one graphic that shows just where they died, how they diverted. Look at the little graph at the end shows the rates of attrition there. The lithographs and metal prints. Jan Eyck. On these Jan Eyck paintings, they can actually tell the prescription on the people's eyes from the painting. How cool is that? If you ever see these Jan Eyck brothers paintings, they're so detailed. They're like jewels. Write it down. The Frick Collection, F-R-I-C-K. How many have been there? The Frick Museum on Fifth Avenue. He was a steel baron from Montana, then collected Italian arts. It's a fantastic collection. I think as students you can get in for discount or free. Manet. Brenny, is this a very happy woman? What, Detective Brenny, tell me what's going on here. Keep going, Brenny, but I'm going to shut this